Hello everybody, this is DeMarr. I'm out for my morning walk. It's a beautiful Tuesday. You know, the interesting thing is it's probably now at about 7:30 in the morning and the moon is still over in the northwest sky. It looks like the sun's out. So I got the sun coming up behind me and the moon over in the northwest sky, and absolutely an incredible day. Beautiful. Can't be more than 30 degrees outside, maybe less, maybe even the 20s. But I'm telling you right now, you can probably see the breath, see my breath, but it's absolutely an incredible day. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this morning about habits and how to form them and those kinds of things. I'm not an expert on the subject, but there's things that I've had to correct in my life that I've had to make some changes in, and I know that if you start on to change those habits, first thing you need to do is change your activities. And you know, I don't know if most of you know, but the other day I was with a friend of mine and we were at the mall, and I started talking to a stranger, and he said to me, you know, you can talk to anybody anywhere. I seen you and you can talk to anybody. And you know, the funny thing is that has not always been the case. You know, early on in my young adult life, I had an inferiority complex. I came from a poor family, and so I didn't have a high self-esteem. And so when I would talk to people, if I felt they were in a higher social status than I was, that I couldn't hardly look him in the eye, and I'd stutter and I'd say stupid things, and stupid things would come out of my mouth because I didn't know what to say or that kind of stuff. And so, you know, early on in my young adult life, I decided that I wanted to change that, and that it was bugging me. I hated it. I hated feeling like someone was better than me. And so what I started doing, I also felt uncomfortable talking to, you know, just anybody. And, you know, people around me said, oh yeah, but, you know, have known me for 20 years. DeMarr, you've been doing that forever. Well, there was a time that I didn't do that. There was a time that I felt stupid. You know, I'd be walking up to someone and I couldn't talk to them. But now I can talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. Is because I changed the activities. And it started out really simple. What I decided to do is that as I started talking, I was just going to talk to everybody. I wasn't going to worry about, you know, if they wore a suit, or if they had a starched shirt, or if they drove a BMW. I didn't really care. I was just going to start talking to them and asking them questions. Like, you know, it started out early as just simple things like, hey, how you doing? Hey, my name's DeMarr. What's your name? And I know that sounds elementary, but I just started doing that every time I met somebody, every time I talked to somebody. Pretty soon it became comfortable to say that. Then I started asking things like, so what do you do? What are you doing here? Or, you know, what's up, you know, in your life? Hey, that's a nice car. Or, hey, that's a nice suit. And I started to ask questions that helped me find out what that person was all about. And I quit focusing on me and what my problems and my insecurities were about that person or my relationship with that person, if there was any at all. And so I started doing that, and pretty soon it became, and when I say pretty soon, it took me a while. You know, habits, interesting. Years ago, I remember listening to a tape series. I think it was by, it was Conan Nightingale series or something like that. And in that series, it said something to the effect that habits take about 21 days to form. Well, that was a study that was done in the early 60s by a plastic surgeon that was talking about people who lost their limbs, and it took about 21 to 28 days for them to realize that there was nothing there. And And so everybody all these years have said, oh, it takes about 21 days. Well, now studies say that it can take, depending on the habit, whether you form that, I mean, depends on what you're trying to accomplish, depends on how long it's going to take for you to form that habit. Obviously, things that are harder, like push-ups and stuff, it's going to take longer for you to form that habit. And they say an average of about 66 days it takes for someone to start making that conscious, that becomes an unconscious decision versus a conscious decision to do that activity. And so what I found out is that repetition, consistency, working on it, at first, forcing yourself to do it, and eventually that becomes a habit. Now when I go anywhere, it doesn't matter where I am. I'm in a grocery line, I can be at church, I can be anywhere, and I can talk to anybody. I'm not afraid of it. And there was a time, like I said, that I was. And so anybody can change that. You know, I hear people all say, well, I'm shy, or I don't like to talk to people. Yeah, I know. That's how I used to be. But you can change that. And if you want to. You know, there's some things you don't want to change. But I wanted to change that. And if you have a desire to change, you can. And that's one of the things that I wanted to change, because it would affect me in the direction I wanted to go in the business and in the jobs that I decided to pursue. So anyway, it's a beautiful Tuesday. I want to wish everybody an incredible day. Have a good one. Thank you. Isn't it gorgeous out here? Beautiful. See ya. Bye.